Hello, hello, hello. I'm not going to lie, you guys. Selfishly, I'm very excited for this conversation with Simon today. What's up? I decided it was a good idea to sit outside in this Texas heat. I may be regretting this decision in about 10 minutes. So if you notice me profusely sweating, it's just because it's almost 100 degrees now. So yeah, but yeah. So Simon's gonna be hopping on. I'm just gonna let him know I'm live. Oh, there he is. Why, hello, my friend. Bring him on camera. Hey, actually, Simon, it's kind of just like we're still in Bali. I'm just gonna be here sweating. I'm really good at the sweating thing.
Hello, how are
Oh,
you?
hi! I'm so good.
So good to
I
see
was
you.
just saying how I wanted to sit outside here in the Texas sun, and I was like, wait, why? That was a dumb choice. How's Estonia? How's life? How are you?
Well, life is good. Estonia is cloudy today, but it was really, really sunny. Yeah, it's very, very cool being here. I've been in and out. I was in Dublin last weekend. Portugal, maybe Russia and Sweden next weekend as well. So yeah,
I
it's a
love it.
pretty good way to live. Nice being over in Europe, and you look very relaxed, sitting in the
I
sun.
am. I am. You know what's been really good is like, I mean, you guys, I'll share a little bit of how Simon and I met. If people are like, wait, what are you guys doing? We'll talk about that in a second. But like, both of us are really like embodying the nomadic travel lifestyle and like, oh, I mean, I just have so much to say about this. But I've been, actually grounded in the same space for well, who am I kidding? I actually just went to Chicago for a hot second and then came back here. But
I love it.
basically grounding in the same space for about a month, and it's been really good for me because
Yep.
I was like all over the place, and now I'm like and then I'm about to ship off to craziness for the next 2 months. But that's cool. I love it.
I love it. That's
I love
freedom
it.
and
I love
choice,
it.
right?
It is. It totally is. So I met Simon through one of our good friends, Melissa, when I was in Bali, and she's like, "Hey, you got to come hang out with this dude at his villa." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then it was supposed to be just one night, and then I conveniently booked a space so it was like April. Yeah, it was April. And then I
Yeah.
was like, so guys, that place I booked in Uluwatu, I booked it for May. So and Simon's like, just stay here. And I mean, it's been like I'm just so grateful to have been spent time with you and your energy, but also just like for the person you are. And
Thank you.
that's pretty much the conversation we're going to be having today because I think that is why, number one, not only why you are successful, but why you are the person
Mhm.
you are. And I'm like to say that I'm the same way. Like we are embodying and being what we share, what we teach, and what we preach. And I think that that is something that is so important for people, no matter what field you are in, what the work
Yep.
is that you're doing in this world. And I think that a lot of people are striving for it, but don't really know how to do that. And that's really the conversation that we're going to be having today. So I just want everyone to know, like, if you guys have questions for me or Simon, to just like put them below here. This is fully of service from both of us. Like, we just
Yep.
want to share and teach. Um, oh, hey, Courtney. So, so actually, Simon, I would love for you to share how you kind of stepped into, especially how you've been living the past year,
Yep.
so that people are like, wait, what is he doing now? Because I know you've made a big
Yeah.
shift. You really have.
I have, and if anything, it's been I guess the past 4 or 5 years as a journey, being an entrepreneur, traveling all over the world, building business, really getting into a state of really deciding how I wanted to live, and it was so much about more being than doing. I know that's what we're going to talk a lot about today. I think so much of this world, and I had been conditioned in this place that you have to go do. It should always be about like, what are you doing next, or what should you be doing, or people telling you that you're meant to have all this. I don't know if I can swear, but I'm going to swear anyway. Meant to have all
Yeah,
this
go
shit
ahead.
together. You kind of know that I swear a lot. Meant to have all this shit together, and what I noticed is that it just led to a lot of comparison. It led to a lot of unhappiness. It led to a lot of really playing other people's games. If I'm brutally honest, when I looked at my business a year ago, I looked at really going, I'm playing other people's games. I'm deciding how to live because what other people are telling me I should be doing. I'm even building business not based on how I want to help people, how I want to transform people, how I care about people. I'm doing all the things that other people tell me I'm meant to do. And it kind of got to the point of burnout. It got to the point where my health was affected. It got to the point of really living out of alignment. And that's when I really felt that something had to change. Not because the business wasn't successful. The business was more successful than I'd ever imagined. However, I didn't feel happy inside. I didn't feel an alignment inside. I didn't feel that I was living my purpose or living my dreams. And that's when I knew that things had to change. I really then looked at, well, if we start asking with the primary question, how do we want to live our lives? Like everything that flows from that. Where do I want to live? Who do I want to spend my time with? What kind of level of conversations do I want to have? What I focused on and what I really found digging deep into myself was that it was so much more about being me. Everything came back to that, giving myself permission to just be me, giving myself permission to show up authentically as me, letting go of the people that maybe didn't get that, or letting go of this idea that there was anything else that I ever needed to be other than that. Yeah, and what that created was so much happiness and joy, and that's why I love hanging out with you and talking about joy, because that's fundamentally what it comes down to, you know?
I agree completely. And I really think that, like, from the space of joy, I mean, yeah, you guys know that's what I'm all about, but like, it's truly who we are. Like, that's how we step into this world. That's like, you come out, a baby comes out of the womb and it's like, ah! And it's not this like screaming. They're just like, oh, thank God I was out of that like cocoon thing. And they're excited to be alive. And you guys, like, that's who we are at our core, is this like excitement for life. And I can so relate to you on the burnout and the doing the shoulds. And I think everyone has done that at some point, right? So when we come back to the core of who we are, is this being of joy, this like joyful being. And I think it comes to, and I would love your thoughts on this, like, it really comes to this deep trust in yourself and knowing that who I am and who I be is perfect and exactly what is meant to be, but also is how you create the success and the impact that you're here to create, you know? So I don't know about you, but like for me, the whole journey of like deeply trusting myself and deeply trusting that like all I have to do is be me was I was like, wait, that's too easy. Like, really? That's it? You know? So I would love your thoughts on that.
I totally hear you on that. And it's something that I always think that when you give yourself that trust, in so many ways, you give yourself permission. And what I found is I gave, and still do, give myself permission to make loads of mistakes, to fail forward, to really screw up. What I found is that I was going to make those mistakes anyway. Like, we're all on this planet to live and to learn and to join and to connect. But we're going to screw up. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have times where we sit there and go, you know, I could have made a better decision, or I could have done that differently. Like, there's so much, we're halfway through the year, and I sit here and go, there's so much more I wish we had achieved already this year. Like, I'm never gonna argue that with myself, but what I don't do is beat myself up on that. I don't kick my own ass and sit in my head and self-sabotage. I simply just be in a state of going, do you know what, I have that self-trust that I know it's gonna work out. I know I'm growing how I need to. I know I'm showing up trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. And it's that trust inside that, you know what, like when I give myself permission to do that, one, I have more fun. Two, the results are way, way, way bigger. But also the message that comes out, the business results that come out, the creativity that is created, the results that is created is because I'm from a place of alignment, rather than this is what I've been doing next because someone told me I should be doing this and I don't really know why. It's that trust, you know what, I've got all the answers, so why not enjoy it a bit more? Why not have way much more fun with it? And it might not happen as fast as you want it to happen, but you know it's going to happen when it needs to happen, when it's meant to happen, and when you've grown to the point of being that you need to be to then go get the results that you want.
Absolutely. And, you know, something that I've been really embodying and stepping into is that, like, that's kind of the point of the human experience, right? Is to enjoy the journey and the process and the ups and downs. And like you said, fail forward and all of these kinds of things. Again, it's so interesting because I think it's actually a really simple concept, but something that we don't allow ourselves to experience because from a more kind of spiritual perspective, we actually need to be in our physical body, experience this like fear and doubt and stress and worry. Otherwise, we're just going to be floating off into other realms. And I mean, hey, I'm all about that and that's cool, but I actually kind of enjoy being human. So when you can embrace that and say like, hey, this is actually kind of fun, like failing and you know, messing up and making mistakes, like exactly like you said.
And also giving yourself, sorry to cut you off, giving yourself permission like giving yourself permission to wake up and be able to change your mind, or giving yourself permission to wake up and go, this doesn't feel great today, so I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to like should all over myself. I'm not going to get frustrated or self-sabotage because this is what I said I was going to do, or this is what I was meant to be doing. It's just giving yourself permission. You go, do you know what? Right now, this is what is going to serve me. Right now, this is who I need to be, or the state that I need to be in, or in our cases, the country I need to live in, or the things that I need to go do. You know, there's so many times in my life, even for the rest of this year, I have a vague plan, but I don't really know exactly because I'm so open that I may wake up one morning and go, do you know what? I want to be in a different place. I want to be around different people. I want to have different conversations rather than confined. And I think that's where so many people, what you're talking about, living this human experience, so many people create frustration because they're tied to an idea they had when they were in a different state. They were tied to an idea that somebody else gave them. They were tied to a goal that somebody said that should be your goal. So they feel that they have to stick to that rather than that focus on, yeah, how do I embody living the most magical, joyous, fun-filled, connected life?
Right. And I think that it is so important. So I would love to share. So for me, I choose, like, I ask myself this question every single day, like, what do I get to do that brings me joy? Right. And then I just trust that and I go, 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 go. But people are always like, wait, that question, okay, cool. Then how do you actually do it? Well, you just go, whatever comes up, you just, without thinking, you just go for it and do it and trust that. So for me, it's really, it comes to like feeling it and actually experiencing those feelings versus just like writing it down and saying you're going to do it. It's actually experiential. So that works for me. And I know you're kind of similar in that space, but can you share ways that you've actually really made this shift into having it be the state of being for you from a practical standpoint? Because I think that is where a lot of people get the disconnect. I get the idea, but how do I actually make that my reality?
Yeah, I love that question. And I know you have a spiritual audience, so this is cool. I was going to say I might get a woo-woo on it, but it's
go for
never
it.
too woo-woo. For me, it's really, and it goes back to that trust, it's listening inside. For me, a lot of it is meditation. It's slowing down the thoughts that go through all of our heads at a million miles an hour. Certainly as business owners, there's lots of things we could be doing. Really eliminating some of those choices and looking at them and going, well, where are those choices coming from? So for me, it's asking myself those questions, like, is this something I want to be doing? Really going deep. For me, it's meditation. For me, it's walking actually as well. Both those states really get me into a creative decision-making state. Knowing that there's so much I could be doing, but how do I just want to be? You know, really looking at, there's so much choice in this world, so how do I want to be? Meditation is a big process for that, and really trusting that whatever answer I'm going to come up with is the right answer for that moment, knowing that it may not be tomorrow, and knowing it may not be next week, and knowing it may not be next year, and not judging that, but really making sure, and to answer your question, really making sure that the decisions that I'm making are my decisions. And the only way I've ever found to do that is to listen to self. You know, it's to slow down the noise of the outside world. It's to slow down the noise of expectation and really just trust and listen to self and go, one, are these my desires, dreams, goals, visions? If they are, awesome. Are they something I care about? Are they something that matters to me? Is it something that I want to go invest my time, resources in? Is it something that I want to be part of that conversation? And if the answer is no, I'm not going to judge myself as to why it's a no. You know, like I have a very, very beautiful peer group. I certainly consider yourself as one of those people. And I think you've seen it. Like when we have cool levels of conversation, it's as soon as that's done, no one's judging someone if they're like, you know what, I'm out. Like I need to go hang out by myself, or I need to go read, or I need to go for a run. And what I think certainly that gives me is a lot of freedom in here, that the moment something's no longer serving me, like I'm out of that. And there's no, what are people going to think? There's no self-judgment. There's no fear around other people's expectations, because if they're my dreams and I've clarified that and I've dug deep inside and gone, that's what I want to be doing and that's the decision that I'm choosing to make, then if I'm no longer choosing to do that, or I'm leaving that, then I also own that as well, if that makes sense. So at that point, yeah.
I think that's so perfect. And like, thank you for sharing that, because I really, truly do think it does come down to like, is this actually mine? And I think a lot of us are living this reality of something that isn't ours, and releasing that judgment is one of the most freeing and liberating things, because I can say from my personal experience, my reality for literally like 30 years was other people's reality. And then the
Yep.
second I stepped back and I was like, holy shit, what do I actually want? What am I
Yep.
actually wanting to do and to create? And when you surround yourself with people that get that and allow you to do that, it actually reinforces the choices that you've made and the person that you're choosing to be, and also reinforces the fact that you don't have to judge yourself because other people aren't judging you as well. And that's so liberating. And then I think when you are able to actually, like, again, embody that and be that, then you're like, sweet, what's next? Like, bring it on. And I
And I
actually
think
think from
that's
a,
gone. Please finish.
no, no, no. No, no, no. What I was going to say is from like a business and a life perspective, then you become this like open vessel for
Yep.
beautiful opportunities and people to just literally show up in your life, and you're like, "Oh, that was easy. Cool."
Yep.
And it's like this is how life is supposed to be. Yeah.
100%. I think it's taking that first step. What I see, and continually taking that first step, reminding yourself that how good it feels when you trust, how good it feels when you listen, how great it feels when you live in that state of being rather than doing, when you do the things on a day-to-day basis that are yours rather than someone else's, like you say. What I think so many people get lost on is it's that little first step. It's like it's a tiny hop. And then there's so much fear around it that we don't ever do that, or we don't ever trust ourselves enough to listen to ourselves. Like you say, trust is such a powerful word. Yet once you do that, it's the continual reminder of that. It's kind of like picking up momentum. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just, it's any deep internal work. It's not you get to do it once. I think it's living in that state and choosing to live in that state on a regular basis, knowing, like you say, that as a vessel, there's so many opportunities. We've just got to be open to seeing them, rather than close to this is the path that I have to walk down because I decided that 17 years ago based off what a school system taught me.
Totally. And I think, like, from an energetic perspective, when we are doing what people are saying and we must do, we actually are, like you said, like we're closed off, but
Yep.
energetically you're just sitting there like, nope, don't want
Yep.
anything. And when you actually start to trust yourself and feel that, you're open and you're free and you're just like, oh, and that's when things want to come to you. Like, energy is
Yep.
attracted to that open expansiveness, which is just like, again, it falls into this kind of ease. So one thing that a lot of people ask and are like, oh yeah, easy for you to say because look at your life and look at your reality and look at your situations that you've chosen. And I'm like, yeah, but it hasn't always been like this. And so I like to use an analogy, just because my like background is from like the science perspective, and I was a
Yep.
physical therapist, and so like it's about like strengthening the trust muscle, you could say. Like you said, it's that small little hop forward, that you are literally creating opportunities for yourself to trust yourself and be more of who you actually are. And so it's like
Yep.
each time you do that, you're strengthening that muscle. And then you're like, hell yeah, I'm like now this bodybuilder who's like, bring it on. But it doesn't
Yep.
have to be something hard. And so it can be as simple as like, actually, you know what? I want to drink water right now. So I'm going to just do that.
Yep.
Boom, you strengthen your trust muscle. So what do you have to say to the people that are like, oh yeah, Simon, like so nice for you, like easy for you to say kind of a thing?
I think it's easy for us to give that excuse first of all, and I think we do that, or we certainly try not to do that as much as we can. However, that certainly exists in every single one of us. We see someone achieving something that we haven't achieved, and it's easier to go, it's easy for them than it is for us to just go, well, what decisions did they make? So first of all, it's ownership, that it's just a matter of choices and a matter of decisions, and going, I can choose and create my own reality, and really owning that. Secondly, like you say, it's starting small. It's starting small in that it wasn't always easy for me to say, I'm not going to live anywhere without a plan and I'm just going to trust that. But it started by moving to a different country, or it started by going, I'm going to go on holiday here because that's where I want to go travel, rather than what I should go do or what society tells me is cool to do. So it's those small little steps and really trusting the compounding of them. I can't imagine a reality today where I was ever scared of jumping on a plane, but I imagine that existed. I am sure that there was some fear at some point. So, but I don't live in that state of I guess, going back into those moments or that energy. I'm not worried about that. I'm focused forward on how I want to live, how I want to serve, how I want to impact, and how I want to grow. And I think when you focus forward, combined with, and I love your bodybuilder analogy, not expecting it to happen overnight. Like that's something I've had to learn a lot in my life and continue to learn, is that when we have expectations for ourselves, that why hasn't this happened, or why am I not there yet? Like this destination syndrome of frustration. And once we let go of that and just watch our own journey and see the progress we've made and see the steps we have taken, what actually happens is we give ourselves so much more freedom after that, because we see the excitement that's created, the results that we have got, the life that we do lead. And then we go, I want some more of that, because it's fun, rather than sitting there going, I'm not where I want to be yet. I don't think there's anyone on the planet who's exactly where they want to be yet. So it's knowing that we're on that journey, and that's the fun part. So the people that go, it's easy, it's like, first of all, let's get real. Like it probably, like, it's never easy for anyone. It's just small little steps. And then it becomes easy, and it does become easy because you've taken that many steps. Learning to walk, riding a bike, riding a horse doesn't really matter. The first time you do it, you're probably going to be pretty terrible at it. It's just trusting that you're going to be pretty terrible, and then it's going to get better, and it's going to get more fun, and it's going to get easier.
Absolutely. And I think what's really interesting of what you just love all the thoughts. What you just brought up and shared is a lot of us are either like too far in the past or too far in the future. And when we're talking about being and like being in this space, it's really about being present and enjoying each moment versus like either following the reality someone else told us or stepping way too far in the future where we get so caught up in that, that it's so interesting. Like when you reflect back, and I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to recreate the past, but when you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, I spent so much of my life planning for the next best thing that I wasn't able to actually enjoy what was right in front of me. And I have to say that like my personal experience with you and like that the day that we were in Uluwatu, I was like, I'm fully being present here. And this is like so incredible. And I do not care what is happening next. And I think that is not only this deeper level of trust, but that's truly about being versus doing. When you're able to fully immerse in your experience, and then you actually get to enjoy it more. And you're like, my life is so good. And that's when you want more of that. So you start to create more of these experiences for yourself because you are actually fully present in it,
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I love that. And I think when I look back, and I'm sure you better relate to this as well from the conversations we have, when we look back at our biggest times of struggle or our biggest challenges in life, it's because of what you're saying. It was either we're so worried about the future, where do I have to get to, or where am I meant to be next, or pain of the past that we're still living in that state, rather than that true connection to simply being present. Certainly when I look at my happiest time in life, it's surrounded by great people, doing cool, fun things, serving the world, having cool conversations, sometimes making some fun, maybe not so wise decisions. But there's got to be some play in life, right? And I think that's what's important, is that, like you say, that when you live in this state of being, you simply just get so much more permission to have fun, to experience everything, not based off especially the world we live in today. Like, I won't rant about it too long, but so many people trying to tell the world they're living rather than just going out and living, rather than just being, how do I get to experience all that this existence has to offer, rather than trying to show the world that I'm experiencing things, and that's what I think is, when you live in that state of being, it means probably taking 3 less selfies, or maybe not updating your stories as much, or maybe not like just telling people constantly what you're doing, still using the tools that are out there, especially if you're in business. But it's about coming from a place of, how can I connect more to this moment, so I can then create that reference point to go, I want to do more of that shit. I want to go do more of that all over the world, whatever that is for you. If that's hanging out on the cliffs of Uluwatu, or that's jumping out of planes, it's creating those moments. Yeah, creating those moments for yourself.
It's so interesting. I love that you brought up the sharing piece, because I mean, both of us have businesses that are like social media, and sharing is like a huge piece of that. Yet it's so interesting. The past month, I've been like, I don't want to share anything or do anything or whatever. I actually want to be present in it. So it's interesting that in doing that, I actually decided to do like these conversations. And I'm like, this is how I want to show up, and this is how I want to serve, is by actually having conversations with people and not being like, look at my life. Isn't it so great? You should have this too, And I think that, yes, social media is a beautiful gift and it's a way that we can connect with people in so many ways. But like, let's look at how we're choosing to connect. Like, are we actually connecting, or are we trying to project this reality that isn't true? And
Yep.
why can't we just like fully be ourselves and open and vulnerable and honest? And like, in doing that, like, you actually don't have to do as much as you think, which
Yep.
circles back to this whole, what this whole conversation is, being versus doing. And I think that I would love to kind of have you share a little bit more about what I think is like a beautiful mission that you have in this world, because I think it's about impact. Like, it's about impact for me, and I know it's about impact for you. And
Yep.
so when we're actually like being who we're meant to be, and sharing our truth to the world to the greatest capacity, that is how we can impact the people that we're here to impact. And so I
Yep.
just want you to kind of just riff and go off on whatever comes through when it comes to impact for you, because I just think it's really who you are and why
Yep.
and how. Like, I'm just so grateful to be like having this conversation with you. So
Yep.
yeah, let it flow, man.
Okay. Yeah, no, and I love what you said before about posting less. And I talk to a lot of people about, let's stop posting shit. Let's stop posting things that we just think we're meant to post. Again, it goes back to what we're talking about. And let's start just showing up authentically. Because when we show up authentically, one, what we do is we post real, authentic, vulnerable truth, like our truth. We speak our truth and we give ourselves permission to speak our truth. And then what that happens and what that leads to is we then give ourselves permission to go and impact people by being ourselves, by showing up authentically as ourselves, being willing to be vulnerable, being willing to be scared, by being willing to give other people permission to say, look, I don't have all my shit together. I don't have it perfect. There's never a week or a day where I tick all my goals and go, do you know what? I've achieved it all. However, it's about going, I'm striving to do more. I'm striving to serve more people. I'm striving to help more people. I'm striving to serve more people. And that to me is the definition of impact. It's being willing to show up in the world authentically. Go, do you know what? I haven't got it perfect. I don't think there's anyone in this world that has it perfect. But I'm willing to take you on that journey with me. I'm willing to take you on that journey and show you what is possible, because I believe that if I can do it, then you can too. Because I believe that if I get to choose how I want to live, then I know that you can choose how you want to live. And that may not be how I want to live. That may be how you want. Like, you may want to live in the middle of nowhere with a white picket fence and 12 horses. Awesome. How can I help you, and how can I help inspire you by showing up authentically as me? To me, that would be the nightmare. Like, I would rather live on a beach and have a lot of fun. But it's giving yourself permission to be authentically you, to really live in that state of alignment, to live in that state of being, rather than doing and putting all that stress on yourself, coming from a place of how can I go serve people, impact people, help people, showing up as me, letting go all the people that you can't. I think that's where so many people limit themselves with their impact, is they're trying to live someone else's life, they're trying to play someone else's game, they're speaking somebody else's truth, and they're trying to convince the people that they don't care about and don't care about them as to why they've got the answer. And when we drop all of that and just go, well, I'm going to speak my own truth, I'm going to chase and live my own life, and I'm going to help the people that I can help, knowing that I can't help everybody. Like, I still think to this day, there's millions more people that don't like me than there is that do like me. But I don't care about that. I'm not focused on that. I actually couldn't give a shit about that. I'm like, high five, go live your life, go live your journey, because I'm going to go live mine. And I think when we do that, we automatically give people permission to show up as themselves. We automatically give people permission to go and live the life that they want. And to me, that is impact. I think in the conversations we've had, and you do such a great job of this, like when you came to Bali, it's like just vibrating from that place of wanting to help people, wanting to serve people. When I meet people like that, I'm like, that's my people, and it's like this, like you say, this vessel for business and friendships and connection. And that's the beautiful thing about this world, is that when you live in that state of being, your impact increases tenfold, because you are so focused on how you could serve and give back. But what you get out of that is insanely rewarding as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could not agree more. And you know what I think is really, really powerful, when you're actually like, basically like, F you guys who like don't resonate with me, sweet, that's
Yep.
totally fine. You draw in more of the people that do. And I personally am like, if it's 5 people that are like, hell yes, I love what you
Yep.
say, and there's like millions that are like, you're fucking crazy. Like, get out of my
Yep.
face.
Yep.
Hey, those 5 people are, I am going to do everything I can for those 5 people. And I think that
Yep.
that is like so massively powerful. But the other thing I think with what you had to say, and I think that people really like need to hear when it comes from a space of impact, if there's something that you see in like myself or Simon or anyone who you're like, ooh, I like what they're doing, there's a piece of you that has that within them, you know? And so
Yep.
I feel that any mentor I've had or any like colleague I've had or anyone that I see something in them, it's because that's in me too, right?
Yep.
So anything that you're striving for and you see in other people, the fact that you see that just means it's in you in some way. And it's about, again, trusting that and then just choosing to go with it. And I think like a lot of us get stuck in this hamster wheel of repeating the same reality and then are like, why
Yep.
isn't anything different? I'm like, well, that's actually the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing and having a different, wanting a different result. So like you said before, take that little step, that little jump, then you're going to
Yep.
start to be like, oh, wait, this is a little bit better. Okay, cool. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. And it's about not, I don't know about you, but like, I think it's really important to not put people on these massive pedestals of like, oh, their life is
Yep.
so good. I wish I had that. Instead of
Yep.
seeing that and being like, oh, wait, there's a piece of me that has that as well. And then you start to kind of level the playing field. And that's when you get to be more impactful, is to realize that like we're all actually trying to do the same thing. So let's all
Yep.
do it together, you know?
Yeah, and I think something that one of my mentors very early on taught me was stop watching what other people are doing. Like stop, like just stop, like just go play your own game, do your own thing, serve people how you want to serve people, and really authentically be who you are, and the rest of it's going to take care of itself. You know, so it's people go, how do I take people off pedestals? And people, I totally agree with you. People say to me like, this person's so good at this, and I'm like, cool. So stop watching what they're doing. Go be, like you say, go take the things that you love about what they do, like their passion or their energy or their excitement, and go be passionate and have that energy and be excited about your thing in your world and how you want to serve people and speak your truth. And then people are going to love that because you're being you. I think there's so much of this world that gets trapped in really playing other people's games. I said it before, really playing other people's games, going, well, I love what they do and I pedestal them, like you say, so I'm just going to go do what they do. And what I found is years ago when I used to play that game in the corporate world, it just led to miserableness. It led to unhappiness. It led to massive disconnection. I now live a life where I really, yeah, I love the people that I hang out with. I love the people in my peer group. I love my clients. I love the people I get to spend all my time working with and talking to. Like my clients become my closest friends. The other people playing their own game, I'm like, awesome, go play your game. But I don't need to play that game because that's not my game to play. I'm so focused on what I want to do, the impact I want to have.
Exactly. And it's just like put the blinders on full speed ahead. Like, I just think that it goes to what you were saying before is you're trying to emulate what other people are doing and that's not your
Yep.
reality and then you're not being yourself.
Yep.
So like it's just I think it's a lesson, let's be real. Like it's a lesson that so many of us get to learn and we get to learn
Yep.
it multiple times. And I can say from my own personal experience, there have been many times where I'm like, oh hell yeah, I got this. Here we go. And then you take a step back and you're like, oh shit, I'm doing it again. I'm trying to be this person and like why can't I
Yeah.
just be myself? But again,
Yeah.
like see, like you're laughing and I'm laughing at it now too because like,
Yeah.
oh, it's funny. I'm doing it again. And like
Yeah.
just stop making it so heavy and stop being like, oh no,
Yeah.
now I have to heal all these wounds and I got to change. And no,
I
like
love that.
you can say
Yeah.
like, hey, let's just not take this so seriously because oh, this was another thing I wanted to say with what you were sharing, like especially for any of you guys who are entrepreneurs or who are like doing some side hustle thing or like trying to really grow and explode the business that you're doing is to remember that we're supposed to enjoy this. It
Yep.
gets to be fun, right? So like you shared in the beginning, Simon, like I personally have done the same thing. Like we're not supposed to be burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, or anything. Like we created something for ourselves because we had a passion that we wanted to share.
Yep.
So like allow yourself to actually enjoy that passion and share it and spread it to the world. And I think it's such a beautiful reminder of being like, oh shit, I wanted to have fun doing this. Like, I forgot to have fun. Let's reconnect to the fun and the joy of it all, you know?
And I love what you said before about having to relearn things over and over again. And I started laughing so much because certainly over the past 6 months, and it's been a huge amount of growth for me over the past 6 months, it's really learning to enjoy and embrace the failure. Like, embrace the fuck ups, because they're going to happen. And a year ago, I would have got so hard on myself. I would have got so frustrated. I would have got so like beating myself down or overwhelmed or annoyed or whatever. Whereas now, like, I just laugh. Like, it's like, shit, I got to learn that lesson again. Like, come on, man. You know, like, I've learned this once. Or like, shit, I'm not taking action on this again. Like, I know, I saw that Court was on here before. Like, my to-do list just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, shit. Like, I said I was going to do that and I still haven't done it. Like, but rather than get frustrated or angry or annoyed, it's like, yeah, do you know what? I fucked up. And it's, how can I learn from that? Yes. But how can I still live in that state of joy, live in that state of happiness, live in that state of real connection to self, rather than going like, oh my God, I didn't do this, or I should have done that, or like, what does that mean for me, or what does that make me? Simply just going, do you know what? Like, I keep screwing up because I'm human. So cool, let's like accept that that's going to happen all the time and just have fun and enjoy that. And yeah, be silly and be playful about it. I only have about 8% of battery, by the way. My phone's blinking at me.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it's cool. Well, we can wrap this up, but I just want to say, like, it's so funny that you just shared that, because I had that same, of course, I had the same experience recently, where I literally left a message to my mentor and I was like, fuck you. I'm done surrendering. I'm done with all this healing work. I'm done. Like, fuck this shit. Like, I've been doing it for so long. And she's like, and now you're doing the real work. And I was like, I know, but I think it's true. Like, you guys, we're never going to get it perfect. We're never going to get it right. We're never going to have it all figured out.
So have fun with it, right?
Exactly. So have fun with it and enjoy it. And I think, like, really, to kind of bring this whole conversation like full circle, the way you have fun with it and the way you enjoy it is to just be yourself and fully trust that, like, that is how you get to impact people. That's how you get to earn a shit ton of money if you want. That's how you get to have like amazing friendships and connections. That's how you get to make a massive impact in the world, because you get to just be you, right?
Yep. I couldn't agree more, my friend. You know, like, it's that permission to play, permission to be yourself, permission to not take life too hard. Yeah, and live in that state of being rather than doing, you know?
Yeah.
Cool
Simon,
chat.
thank you.
Really
oh my
cool
gosh.
Chat.
So cool. So fun. I appreciate you. I'm maybe going to turn this into something, a podcast, if I feel called to. I don't really know. So we're just going to like let it be what it be for now.
Come to San Diego. Maybe we'll film one.
Yeah. Ooh, I can make that happen. No problem at all. See, you guys, I'm just going to jump on a plane and do it. Wait, I can change my flight back. Oh, we're making this happen.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And yeah, you guys, so if you don't know or follow Simon, please do. He's an amazing human. And I'm going to have more of these. Oh yeah, Courtney. Okay. We'll make it happen. I'm having more of these conversations every day this month, and I'm really feeling called to have this continue on to other things. And I'm just going to let it be what it is, and we'll see where it goes. And like, no pressure. So Simon, thank you for who you are, for this conversation.
I'm super proud of you.
And thanks. Yeah, I'm really grateful for you too. And for everyone who's listening, thank you for showing up. And if you guys are watching your replay and whatever and have any questions, just tag either one of us and we will be happy to help and serve however we can. So
awesome. Yeah. I love it.
Thanks.
Have a beautiful afternoon. Enjoy the sunshine.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye guys. And I'm just going to leave you with this. Go do something that brings you joy. I am Dr. Katie Henry. Stay tuned for more goodness tomorrow. You guys, make sure you follow me and stay up to date with all these beautiful interviews that will be going down. Thanks again, Simon, and have a beautiful day, you guys. Go live fueled by joy.